Alright, so we are almost done with the HTML template. What we need to do now is just style it. So we want to go to our style CSS and let's start with the body. Okay, so I want to add a font size here of 15 pixels. We're going to set the color to a gray, which will be 7A, 7A, 7A. And we're going to set a line height of 1.7 m. Okay. Now all of the links are going to have a green color which matches the logo. So let's go ahead and just add an A tag here and say color, and then the main color is going to be 0FA F97. Okay, now we also want that color for all of the primary buttons. So we're going to add BTN dash primary and set the background to that color. And then we also want the color of the text to be white. Okay, we also want the border color to be white. Okay, let's see if those changed. Okay. Now for the nav, you can see that's still blue. I'm going to just paste something in here. It's kind of stubborn. We have to add a bunch of classes. So let me just, let's go right here. And I'm going to paste this in, okay? Because so you want all of these classes. And set the background to that green color. So now if we go and reload, now it's green. Okay, and if we hover over other links, it's going to be light gray. So let's move on to the Jumbotron. We have quite a bit to do there. We're going to go down right here and let's say dot Jumbotron. And we're going to align everything to the center. We're going to add a border bottom, and that's going to be 1 pixel solid, and let's do E5. Alright, so next let's do, I'm going to add some padding. We're going to say padding top 90 pixels, and also padding bottom will also do 90 pixels. Now we're going to have a background image, so we'll say background, which will be a URL. Okay, and here we're going to say ./image/banner.jpg. Okay, now I'm going to just adjust the position a little bit. We'll say 0 and then -80 pixels. Okay, so that's just going to bring it up a little bit. And then the last thing we want to do here is set the color to white. Alright, so let's go and reload. Now we have an issue here. We want the Jumbotron and the image to go across the entire page, not end here like the rest of the template. So let's take a look at our HTML. See, we want index, and if we go down to where we have the Jumbotron, well actually what I did here, well what it had by default when we use the demo template, it has a container going around the entire site, and I don't want that, so I'm going to get rid of that, and then of course the ending div, which is down at the bottom. Alright, we actually don't need this either. So let's save that and take a look at it. Okay, so in some areas it's extending further where we don't want it to, such as the heading here, as well as these boxes. Not the footer or these widgets, because they have their own container. If we look at let's say the content region 2 and content region 1, they have the container class. So we just need to add a container to the heading as well as the box area. So let's go up here, and where we have our header, we're just going to add in a container. Alright, so let's take a look at that. Okay, so you can see everything now pushed to the middle. Now for the boxes area, which is right here, we'll do the same thing. Okay, reload that. And now everything's pushed in except for the Jumbotron. Now I do want the text and all that, the content, to be restricted, just not the background. So what we'll do is we'll do the same thing with the Jumbotron. Okay, we want to go inside the div here and then put a container. And there we go. So let's go back to the CSS. And actually, you know what? The button here, I want that to have a primary class. Okay, by default it had success. Let's just change that to primary. Okay, that'll change the color to the correct green and also give us the white. Now if you notice, when I hover over it we get a blue, and I don't want that. So let's go up to where we have the button primary, and we're going to say btn primary and then hover. So what I want is I want that to have a background of white, and then we'll change the color to that green color, as well as the border to that color. Okay, so now if we go and hover, now it's just white. Alright. Actually, this needs to be border color. Now I also want to have a class to reverse it, to have this be the regular state and then that be the hover. So what I can do is copy that, and we'll say button primary reverse. We'll take what we have here, paste that in, and then we'll take what we have here, paste that in here. Okay, and then we'll just change this to reverse. Okay. We do want to take this off though, the color white. So now let's move along to these boxes. Now each one has a class of block, so let's do the block class. Okay, block is going to have a border, and we're going to set some padding here. We're going to say 20, 20, 30, 20. And we want to just move everything to the center. And then for the H3, we'll say block H3. We're going to set that color to the green. So let's see, this right here. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, so that didn't change anything. I don't know. That's a little weird. Let's see, let's go back. Did I not do the block? No, they don't have the block class. Alright, so in this, where we have the boxes, we want each one to be wrapped in a block class. Okay, there's one. There's two. and there's 3. Okay, go back, reload, and there we go. Now for the icon, we have to make those bigger. Remember, we gave each one the class of FA3. So what we'll do is we'll say FA3, and we're going to set font size to 4M, and we're going to label it important. Okay, now the icons, we also want the color to be that green. So we're going to say FA, and we're going to set the color to green. Alright, so things are looking a lot better. Now we want to move on to these widget areas. And I'm just going to paste in a couple things here. So content region 1, we're just adding the green background, color white, text align center. 2, and then we're also doing a 3, which has a black background. 2 has a light gray black background. So if we save that, okay, now you can see we have the green background. Now we want the marketing class to have some margin, so let's do that. I'm going to go right here and say marketing margin is going to be 40 pixels, 0. Okay, so that added some margin here. And let's put some margin on the bottom. Actually, you know what? I don't want margin on the bottom here. These two are going to be right on top of each other. Alright, so let's fix that. Okay, I want to set content region 2 image. We'll set width to 100%. Oh, that didn't work. Content region 2. Oh, I forgot the dash. Alright. So now look, we need some padding here. So I'm going to paste in all my padding classes. Okay, so we have padding top and bottom from 20 to 60 pixels. Alright, so that looks much better. Now I just want to add some styles for the content region headings. So this is for content region 3 H4. This one here is for 1 and 2 H1s. Okay, just 0 padding and margin. Font size is going to be 40. Okay, now down here in the footer is actually going to be content region 3, so I don't think I put that in the HTML. No, I didn't. So right here we have the footer. We're going to add on to the class here. We're going to say content region 3, and then let's do padding top 30 and padding bottom 40. Okay. Now we have this little bit of white down here, and that's coming from the body tag. So body, I'm going to get rid of this padding bottom 20, and that should fix that. Now for the footer form here, I'm going to just style that. So we're going to paste that in here. Okay, so I'm just saying content region 3, form input, that is text, as well as text area, and we're just setting some padding, background, things like that. Okay, so that looks a lot better. Alright, so now if we visit the About page, now we have to make some changes on the About page, just like we did on Index. You can see that these should be going out all the way. And the reason for that is that we have the container wrapped around the whole page. So let's go ahead and fix that. Let's see, business HTML, let's open About. And we're just going to get rid of this container. Alright, let's reload. Okay, and now we just need to add the container to the head area, to the header. Which is right here. Now in the actual WordPress theme, you'll only have one header and one footer, so you won't have to do this, but I just want to fix this just so you have it. And then in the footer, we need to add a couple classes. Where is it? Right here. So we're going to add content region 3, and then we want padding top, what was it? 30 and then 40. All right. Now for the side widget, I'm also going to paste in some classes for that, or some styles for that, I should say. And some of this stuff will change a little bit when we actually build the WordPress theme. Okay, so you can see I put the line for the heading. Now we're going to have the same issue with the blog. Let's see. So these, what I'll do is copy what we just did. For instance, the footer class. Let's take that. And let's open blog HTML and also single HTML. And let's add the footer class. Okay, and then we're going to also remove the container that wraps around the whole thing. And then we want to add a container to the head. All right. Okay, so that looks good. Oh, the title bar, we need to add some styles for that. So I'm going to paste that in. Okay. And then let's see what else. We're going to need some styles for this, for the meta, and for the rest of the post. So let's paste those in. Okay, so the article post itself, we have a border bottom, overflow, padding, and then for the meta, we're going to add a border to the top and bottom. Let's see what else. For the list items in the meta, we want those to float to the left and display inline. And then the image is going to be 100%. Okay, so let's go ahead and reload. And there we go. So that looks pretty good. And then the single page, we also need to get rid of that container that's going around the whole template. And then we should be all set, I believe. Okay. We'll add a container to the head. I know we should have done this earlier, but it's all right. And there we go. Alright, so that's our HTML template. Looks pretty good. In the next video, we're going to start to convert this into a WordPress theme.